Is Trailmakers worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 187 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, will we make trails that are worthwhile?
Or is it about the things you make along the way?
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
Trailmakers, developed by Flashbulb Games. This game came out on PC and Xbox One on September of 2019, and then on PS4 May of 2020.
Okay.
And I play this on the PC. 6.37 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Only slightly larger, 10% larger on the Series S, 6.91 gigabytes.
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Flashbulb knew how to do their thing back in 2019, I guess. But what is this game? What kind of game is this, Tom?
I couldn't really decide. I had some trouble here.
Yeah.
I put building, racing, sandbox. Just like throw words.
Yeah. I was definitely very confused on how to write this out, but I put first/third person building/harvesting simulator.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that from the main campaign where you would get that answer.
Yeah. So now what is that game loop that we got here?
So I have collect parts to build vehicles so you can access other parts to build new vehicles.
Wow. I almost had the same thing written down. I put collect parts to build your vehicle to collect more challenging to reach parts.
To build new vehicles.
To build new vehicles. Yes. Correct. That is the name of the game here. And let's get into what we liked about it.
I liked that the character creation was nice and quick because you know me at character creators. I could have been in there for the whole hour. But thankfully not this one. It was pretty straightforward.
It kind of had almost a Lego or like a great value Lego look and feel to these characters.
It definitely does.
But the other thing, it almost is like a dislike, but the fact that they have limited what you can use in your character creation, because a lot of it's just like locked out, because I don't know if it's like a purchasing thing or a DLC thing, but at least when I played through it, that's what I saw. I didn't have very many options there.
Yeah, I didn't like, and I don't like this in general, so let's call it out here.
Mm-hmm. If
there's a bunch of stuff that's locked, don't show me that it's locked. Certainly not at the first pass at character creation.
Yeah.
Like maybe just show me the things I do have available when I first start. And then when I go into like advanced character creation, an hour later or something, you want to show me the stuff that's locked and how to unlock it and all that sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah. But at the beginning of the game, when I literally cannot unlock any of these things right now, don't just show me the wall. That's mean.
It's a little discouraging. But what was encouraging was the fact that there is single player and multiplayer options. In fact, there's a lot of different game modes in this game. So that was kind of cool. I only got to do the campaign mode. I don't know if you got a chance to try anything else there, but that's what I did.
So I did try some of the other modes. So you have Stranded, which is what you start with. It's the campaign mode. Right. You have something called Rally, which is like the racing modes. And then they're also like in the sandbox, there are like these missions that are like doled out in terms of like daily or weekly challenges.
Oh,
I didn't really play with those, but I did do some races, and they're Mario Kart-esque, more like, I guess, a time trial, where you race against a ghost. Mm-hmm. But I dug it because you have the ability to customize and build a vehicle, right? You can just run with whatever they're going to give you. Yeah. Or you can make tweaks to it, or you can make something completely fresh in your own. Cool. And I like that just in general. Like you really do have full control over building your vehicles in all of these modes.
Right.
Which leads to finding clever solutions to some of these problems. So like Chris was saying before, some of these parts that you're trying to harvest in the campaign mode may be kind of in a weird place, like up on top of a rock. And so it's like, well, how do I get this down from on top of a rock? And so for me, I built like a scorpion tail on the top of my vehicle that reached up and over my vehicle.
Oh.
And then I just ran at the rock. My little scorpion tail went patah, knocked the item off the top of the rock, and then I scooped it up and carried it off.
Very cool.
So I appreciate that it allows me to solve these problems my own way.
Yeah, the game, the building mechanics I thought were fairly intuitive. You have, you essentially are using kind of Lego blocks to build your vehicle. And yeah, it was nice and the tutorial does a pretty good job of doing, like, walking you through that whole build process. And the one thing I did like is, because this is kind of like it is a physics-based game where, like, if you're driving your car too fast off a cliff or something and it just breaks in half, you have this like repair button. And you just watch it all combine together again. And it was very satisfying to see it kind of like come together like that. So kudos to them for doing that. Nice little animation.
They do definitely have a number of these sorts of features like that.
Yeah.
There's another one where, like, let's say I built up a idea, right? Mm-hmm. The game will, like, in the background kind of auto save that idea. And so maybe I reject that idea, go work on something else. And then, like, I'm like, wait a second, that thing that I built last time would work right here. You can kind of like revert to a different vehicle that you have saved. And that allows you to kind of like on the fly kind of switch your vehicle.
Yeah.
On top of that, you can manually save, which I very much appreciate. Yeah. That it's not just all auto saving. You can say, no, I like this. I'm going to save it to my favorites. I'm going to set it as a separate blueprint, and then you can hit a button and it'll automatically build that vehicle for you. If you're running around. There are a lot of like cool, like time saving, like quality of life type things built into a game like this, which is very much a sandbox game. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to build something quickly instead of having to brick by brick it.
Right. Yeah. That like you make a good point, because I did appreciate that too, that you can just kind of quickly on the fly just have something that you enjoy using as a vehicle. And then and I play this on multiplayer mode, and I don't know if you got this pop up when you first started the game, but it did say like, hey, if you want to play multiplayer, create a profile for us. And I was like, you know what, because I ignored it the last time we played Call of the Wild. I was like, let me try this. And I liked also that the fact that they set up the profile for you like very quickly. You don't have to like fill out a lot of things. So I thought that was nice to just set up. And then they said there's an option if you ever like stop playing the game and you want us to delete your information, you have an option to delete that. So kudos to them.
Very cool of them.
Yeah.
And yes, they did do it on the console, and yes, it was just as easy.
Right.
Where it was just a couple of taps of the A button and I had a profile and I was right online. So
nice. And I mean, the fact is that this game is co-op. You can play this with other people, and I was able to jump into a session with other randos, and like you can see them go throughout the world, what they're doing and what they're building. And even near the end of my playthrough, I think one of them was trying to help me because my car got stuck. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but they were trying to push me out of the way and all that stuff. So it was cool. It was cool. And this world was a big open world, and I thought they did a good job of spacing out things in the world, like where the parts were, like so. Like it wasn't like so far that it felt like Starfield, where it was just like minutes upon minutes,
tons of nothing.
Right. So it was good. It was good that I could like see my next objective, or from where it is. And you have fast travels wherever those little grabber things become your fast travel points, which is great. I was glad about that. What else? I mean, yeah, kind of talking about the tutorial just quickly again. It started off pretty good. Showed you how to build everything and all that stuff, but it leads me into a dislike. But why don't you? Anything else here you want to talk about in terms of what you liked?
I think just generally, it's very easy to pick up and play.
Mm-hmm.
For a game that could be very, very complicated and clearly does have a lot of depth to it.
Yeah.
You can approach this. This could be your first video game you ever played, and I think you'd be okay. Which is strange to think about, but also, I mean, Legos are probably a lot of people's first toy that they play with. So, right?
Yeah. And the first toy that a lot of parents have stepped on and screamed in agony for.
Don't be barefoot, I guess, or don't be barefoot, or don't let your kid play with Legos. Like maybe those are exclusionary in
This
some
is
way.
an option. This is your other option to do. Instead of real Legos, just give them this to play with, maybe.
Yeah. Can't step on this.
No. But all right, cool. Should we get to our dislikes then, Tom?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I will just quickly finish my thought with the tutorial. It was good, and then it just stops.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know what happened there, and I was very confused by that. And like the game kind of coaxed you into like what your next objective is and stuff like that. I mean, yes, it tells you the idea is that you're trying to build your spacecraft back because an asteroid hits it and everything's kind of all scattered throughout this planet that you crash on. But I don't know. Like, I think it was one of those where it's like, oh yeah, all right, you know how to build your vehicle, cool, good luck. And then you're kind of off the races. Yes, I mean, I know I did mention how the objectives are fairly close and you can kind of get to them, and you do have a map, so you can kind of see where things are, but you have to kind of figure out from there what you're building. So
yeah, it's weird in that respect that it teaches you some stuff really well and then just kind of completely falls out.
Yeah.
I was talking about how much I enjoyed manual saves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I had to figure all that out. Like, you know, I didn't see a way to save the actual game. I could save my creations, and like periodically the game would save itself, you know, when I achieved something. But I don't know. It's like, it was like felt half baked in that way, you know?
Yeah. And it's funny because you put the same thing I did where I thought the game crashed the first time I was loading because it just went blank. It went black, but I heard the music. So I was like, okay, is the game playing? And then I had to force quit it, start it again. And then the menu completely changed for me. So I was like, okay, interesting.
So yeah, both of us, apparently, when we picked our game mode, the survival mode, and started the game, our screen just went black on us.
Yeah.
And the game was still running. It didn't fully crash.
Yeah.
But you couldn't play the game. So we both had to quit. And I was on the Series S and Chris was on the PC. So it's not a system thing. It's a game thing.
It's a game thing. It's a shame. And this is not, it's a knock, but it's a knock maybe more for me, but I'm terrible at building things in games and maybe in general. And I was just getting frustrated with what I was building. Like it just wasn't doing like, so like I was having issues where I was like snapping things into the wrong place. And like sometimes I don't know if it was the game, like the game I think tried its best to kind of tell you when things are snapped together. It was weird. I felt the building was more satisfying to do on mouse and keyboard, and then the actual gameplay was better on the controller.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
But yeah, like it was, but like I remember it was like a couple times like, cool, I snapped this in, and then like I'll turn the vehicle in a different way and it's like it's completely off the block or something.
It looks like, right from one angle, but it's totally missing from another angle.
Yeah. So that was definitely frustrating to deal with. What about you here, Tom?
I thought the driving felt kind of awkward. I don't know if it's just that it's very physics based, but it took me a while to get comfortable driving around. I felt like the car wasn't always doing what I wanted it to do.
I will say with that, I changed the camera angles and that helped me. When I put it into first person mode, that definitely helped me feel like I was driving more. Yeah, it was like that default camera angle was very unwieldy for me. And then once I went into first person, it felt better. Although it was kind of funny because I got to the point where I got like the headlamps and I put them in where I thought was what made the most sense in the front of the seat. Or like the top of the seat, but like at the but the camera was right where those headlamps were, so the headlamps were blocking my way, my view. So I had to push them back a little bit. So that was a little frustrating, but but you can change it. That's the whole point of the game, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. What else do you
got? I felt like nighttime in the game lasted like a long time, like longer than daytime, and you're talking about headlamps there, but before I had the headlamps, like. I just in general, I don't want to play in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to play any game. Like, there are games where it like makes sense, like Kinitsugami, where it's like, okay, there's a day cycle, there's a night cycle, the evil spirits are coming out. This is just a survival game with like sandbox with cars. It's not like monsters come out or anything. Like,
right.
Why does there even need to be nighttime?
There were, like, I did see creatures spread out in the world. Yeah. Like
I didn't run into any creatures. Now, if, in fairness, I did split my time with doing a certain amount of this and then a certain amount of racing. But yeah, I never felt threatened by anything.
Yeah. That's fair.
So it's just being in the dark, just for the sake of being in the dark. And to me, that just seems, it's not fun.
What also is not fun is getting stuck a lot. And you have to collect like power cores and stuff like that, I guess, to give you the ability to put like more engines and stuff like that on your vehicle. But that for like, I got the first power core, which allowed me to have 2 engines, and I still was not getting enough power a lot of times where I couldn't even like go up a very slight hill. And it was, a little frustrating for sure when I was dealing with that. But, it is what it is. It's just probably the way that I was building things, because maybe it was too heavy.
I was thinking maybe your vehicle was too heavy.
Yeah. But, no real indication. But like, this is one of those things where it's like you have to play around with it and figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, fine. Anything else here, Tom?
I had something that bothered me, Chris. The game tried to sell me DLC from the start screen.
Oh no.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I just started the game. Don't try to sell me anything for the first, hour.
Yeah.
Let me get through the 1 hour of this 1 hour, one decision without being tried to solicit me for money.
Yeah.
If we get past that and you want to start asking for money, okay.
Sure, that's fine. They should have a timer now at that point, huh?
Yeah. They even build it into every game. It could alarm sound, the hour's up, and then I don't even need to set a stopwatch.
There you go.
Once I start seeing ads for things to spend money, I know the hour's up.
Time to stop. Time to stop the game. Yeah, I agree. That would be kind of cool.
It'd be useful for us, for sure.
We should patent it. Patent it, Tom. Patent it quickly before someone else does it. Yeah. Cool. So that's are we good to get to other thoughts here?
Let's talk about some other things.
How Long to Beat says this game takes about 14 hours to complete the campaign, which I'm surprised about. But also it'd probably take me a lot longer than that.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts scattered. Yeah. Like when your ship crashes onto the planet, it does this like star stream thing where it shows like a million pieces falling to the earth. And I remember looking at it and going, oh, this is going to be a while.
Yeah, this is going to be a while for sure. But the benefit of playing this in multiplayer is you can play this cooperatively.
Hey.
So there's that. Up to 2 to 8 player co-op. I don't know, but like in my playthrough of the campaign mode, stranded mode, it looked like it was like 4. Maybe 8 players just for like the racing mode or something like that.
Yeah,
which makes sense. So there's that. And it is Xbox Cloud Save and Play Anywhere. I was surprised by that. So good on them for adding that feature for a kind of older game at this point. So what else you got there, Tom?
Okay, so you can, because it's online, you can download other player creations. And I was looking at some of those things, and some of them are pretty cool. I saw jets. I saw helicopters. I saw vehicles from Star Wars.
What?
I saw Transformers.
What?
Cars that turn into robots.
Get out of here. That's crazy.
Nuts. I mean, not too surprising. You give people a bunch of Legos and the freedom to do whatever they want with them, and they're going to come up with some interesting stuff.
Right.
Well, not Legos. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But hey, speaking of Legos, did you know the developer of this game is also from Denmark?
What?
Same place that Lego comes from.
Yeah.
Seems like a coincidence. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
I recognized Flashbulb as a developer, and I went, why do I recognize this? And it's because they made Rubber Bandits. And if you're curious about Rubber Bandits, you can watch episode 130 of the show, because we already played it.
We definitely did. And you can find out what we thought about that too. It might still be on Game Pass. I don't know.
Yeah. You can certainly listen to us talk about it for 30 minutes.
For sure. Cool. All right. Now, Tom, we do need to find out, is this game staying on our respective hard drives, or are we smashing it with our hands and throwing it at someone's path to step on?
Or maybe we just throw it against the wall and let physics do the rest of the work for us?
Yeah, there you go. Never repair it.
Don't hit the repair button. Just leave it in a pile.
Just leave it in that pile. Leave it. But what you got, Tom?
Well, okay. So here's the problem. There are too many other games available on Game Pass that have something going for them that grabs my attention more. I don't think there's anything wrong with this,
right?
But it's another open world game, this time with buildable vehicles, which admittedly is cool, but I don't know if that's enough. Like, I'd rather spend, if I had another hour to play, I'd rather play Kanutsugami. Like, this just feels like more derping around in a sandbox. And if I was going to do that, like, I could play No Man's Sky. Like, there's 100 other games I could play that would scratch this same itch. Fair and enough. Probably do a better job with it. So
yeah, I mean, this game gave me Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts vibes as well.
Yes,
and I could see the appeal in this game.
Yeah,
but it also, like, to your point, it just exacerbates my frustration and my inadequacies of being a builder. I just don't have it in me. I don't know why. I'm a visual person, but for some reason I can't do it when I'm building things. But however, like, this game could be fun if it was, like, it does have co-op aspects to it. So if someone wanted to join me during to do an escapade, I'd be happy to try it. But I don't know who else would want to play this game with me. So in that case, I'm just going to pass.
I think this, who this would be good to play with is with your children. Maybe not your kids. Maybe not your kids specifically, Chris, but one's children's, right? Like, if you're an adult listening to this podcast and you're like, I want my kids to play with something Lego adjacent, and I don't want to step on them with my bare feet. And I'd rather them maybe not be on Roblox or not playing Fortnite or something with a bunch of random people that make me uncomfortable.
Sure.
Like, set them up with this. I think it would do a lot for the kid, like scratch those same sort of itches, like the building, the creating, the exploring.
Right.
But you could play with them and, it might be all right.
Absolutely. It's a good idea. But,
I try.
Yeah, there you go. Those are our thoughts of this game. Let us know what you think. Follow us on Twitter or Threads at TC1H1D. Shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below and maybe send us a link to your, like, whatever you built. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Check that. I'd love to check that all out. Maybe Starscream for Tom.
Oh, please. that would get me to play at least another 10 minutes of this.
Cool. I'm Starscream, and I crashed it immediately. Yeah. 1H1D is part of the QTP network, and if you like any great gaming content, check it all out at quitthebuild.com/network. Now, Tom.
Yes, Chris.
We need to build our next episode by purchasing that surprise me button. Thankfully, that's the only thing we have to do, don't we?
This is the auto build. We press the auto build, and it auto builds the next episode by inserting the next game.
Like the Lego games, right? The real Lego games. You don't have to actually build everything. You just
you just walk over to the pile and press a button, and the thing gets built.
Exactly. So here we go. Okay, neon white.
I don't think something can be both neon and white. I think it's one or the other.
Perhaps, but we'll find out why they gave this name to this game on our next episode. But thank you, everyone, for tuning into this one, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.